Welcome back to Democracy Now!, Congressmember Pressley. If you can talk about this history-making race, every record is being shattered by AIPAC and other allied groups, their super PAC. Up to $17,000 an hour is being spent in this single primary race. Can you talk about what's happening?
Well, honestly, I think it is a testament to the impact of Jamal Bowman and the impact and the growing power and influence of a multi-generational, multiracial, progressive movement in this country. So this is backlash. Jamal Bowman has taken many strong progressive stances informed by his morals, informed by his belief that we are one human family and that our destinies are truly tied. Our destinies are tied from Massachusetts to New York, from Gaza to Haiti. Jamal Bowman is an incredible educator, advocate, an effective legislator, a valued member of our Democratic caucus. And, I'm here because organized people always beats organized money. And we are not new. I mean, look at the victory that we made possible in Pennsylvania. Organized people always beats organized money. And this effort to attempt to buy this seat and to silence Jamal Bowman and this broader progressive movement of which he is a leader in, we won't stand for it. And I've been here since yesterday. I was in faith houses, festivals, small businesses. I was very heartened by the momentum and the number of people that I met who were very clear about what's at stake here. Many of them had already voted early. They know that Jamal Bowman is the pro-peace, pro-humanity, pro-justice candidate. They know that Jamal Bowman is the only one advocating and doing the work of peace from New York 16th all the way to Palestine, and understands the trauma of state-sanctioned violence by a militarized police force here, and wants to make sure that families impacted by the public health crisis and epidemic that is gun violence, that they get the trauma supports and the healing that they need, that our young people have trauma-informed learning communities and access to school nurses and social workers and guidance counselors, restorative justice to disrupt the school-to-prison pipeline. This is who I went to when there was a shortage of baby formula. As a father, as a family man, Jamal sees every child as his own. He sees every family as every person, as a member of his family, because he understands that we are one human family and our freedoms and our destinies are tied. We work together in fighting for paid leave, for rail workers, sick time leave for rail workers. He is proven for workers' rights, for climate justice, for clean air, for drinkable water. So this backlash, this is commiserate to the impact that this unapologetic Black man, this truth teller, this educator, this advocate, this effective legislator, this is a testament to the impact that he's had, and is in response to the principal stances that he has taken, which, by the way, are in alignment with New York 16. So on the ground, I'm seeing that people are very clear about what is at stake. Yesterday, we did a squad phone bank with hundreds of people from around the country. All eyes are on New York 16.
I wanted to read you something from the New York Times, Congressmember Pressley. They say Mr. Bowman accused Mr. Latimer of racism after Mr. Latimer claimed that Mr. Bowman does not mention people who are not Black or brown, and suggested Mr. Bowman was more interested in representing San Francisco or Dearborn, Michigan, a predominantly Arab-American city, than his own district. Mr. Bowman called the remark an Islamophobic dog whistle. Your response, Congressmember Pressley?
Well, these are predictable plays from old handbooks. What can I say? Again, it's deeply offensive. These are not just dog whistles; they're bullhorns. But it's nothing new. These are predictable plays from an old handbook, and we just have our head down. We're going to continue to organize continue to make the case and to remind people that Jamal Bowman was decisively sent to Congress with a mandate by the people, and he has simply made good on that mandate. Jamal Bowman fights for all of the people. And I'll just say this, as someone who also is a congressional first, the first person of color to represent the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in the House of Representatives, they only put charges of identity politics on women and candidates of color. Jamal Bowman is fighting for everyone. Yes, does he bring his lived experience as a Black man in America, as an educator, as a parent to this work? Of course. He represents multiple identities, and he fights for everyone. I believe the people closest to the pain should be the closest to the power, driving and informing the policymaking. Jamal Bowman has been proximate to the pain. And he has brought that pain and that perspective and that of everyone in New York 16 with him to Washington and served and kept his word with the mandate that this district sent him to. So he has been decisively and duly elected. We're going to do everything to ensure that we send him back. Again, his voice is sorely needed. And what I love about Jamal is, in the process of legislating and governing, it is very easy to forget the plot. The plot is the people. Jamal Bowman has never forgotten the people. And when I was on the ground yesterday, you heard that everywhere. You heard that everywhere. They're grateful for his visibility. They are grateful for his truth-telling. They are grateful for the responsiveness with constituent needs from his district office. So we're just going to keep organizing and just keep working and organizing and mobilizing and voting as if lives depend on it, because they do. Because, Amy, you know that the votes determine who's elected. Who's elected determines the policies, and the policies determine everything. The policies determine who lives, who dies, who survives, who thrives.
I wanted to go back to Saturday's Get Out the Vote rally for Congressmember Bowman. This is Independent Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont.
And Jamal also understands that what's going on in Gaza today is totally unacceptable. Israel had the right to defend itself against a terrorist attack, but it does not have the right to go to war against the entire Palestinian people. It does not have the right to destroy or damage 70% of the housing in Gaza, virtually the entire healthcare system. Today in Gaza, kids have no electricity. And what's going on right now, because of the blockage of humanitarian aid, thousands and thousands of children are dealing with malnutrition and face starvation. That is not what the American people want. That is not what Democrats want. There's got to be a ceasefire now. There's got to be humanitarian aid coming in. Hostages must be freed. And we need peace in that area, a two-state solution.
Congressmember Ayanna Pressley, your comments, and also the fact that although it's AIPAC that is funding their super PAC, this massive money campaign against Jamal Bowman, they are not, in their ads, largely raising the issue of Israel-Palestine at all. They're more focused on domestic issues here.
Well, again, Jamal Bowman is, I guess, audacious enough to call for peace and to recognize that we need a permanent ceasefire because we cannot bomb our way to peace. And again, he sees every child as his own. And as a parent, when you think about the reporting that you offered earlier about the devastating numbers of children, thousands of children, innocent children who have been murdered. It is devastating. The fact that they have, wounded children, no surviving family, is in and of itself an abomination. Our destinies are tied. Jamal Bowman is recognizing that and committed to peace, committed to our collective humanity, our shared liberation, and our justice. But I do want to say this. I think that has gotten enough oxygen I'm not focused on how much money anybody's spending. I'm focused on what Jamal Bowman is focused on, which is how many people don't have enough money to pay their bills, how many people can't afford housing, how many parents worry about if their child will have access to an equitable and quality education, if they'll be safe at school, if they can grow up one day and purchase a home in the community that they were raised in. These are the things that Jamal Bowman is focused on. And he recognizes, again, that our destinies are tied from Gaza to Haiti, from Massachusetts to New York. So he is doing the work, leading with love and centering the people, our shared humanity, and our collective freedoms, because our destinies are truly tied.
Which brings us...
He needs to be decisively returned.
Which brings us, Congressmember Pressley, to you being a founding member of the Congressional Task Force designed to stop Project 2025, operated out of the Heritage Foundation. You describe it as a, quote, far-right manifesto and 1,000-page blueprint for Donald Trump to seize supreme powers and radically undermine reproductive rights, LGBTQ equality, racial justice, free speech, and other democratic institutions and freedoms. Can you explain more what Project 2025 is? We're moving into the debate between Trump and Biden Thursday night. Then Democracy Now! Will be there in force in Milwaukee covering the Republican National Convention. 2 hours a day. We'll be expanding our coverage. What is Project 2025?
Well, I will say this, Amy, about these extremist far-right Republicans here. They always telegraph their punch. They always telegraph their harm. And right now, they are saying the quiet part out loud. Project 2025, this is a 900-plus blueprint, extreme manifesto. It's a policy plan, and it is a transition plan that would dismantle the federal government as we know it, eliminate the Department of Education, eliminate critical Title I funding for our K through 12 schools. It bans our bodies. It says in the document that Dobbs was just the beginning. And again, we know them to make good on these things. These are not just threats, they are promises. We saw with Dobbs that dominoes continued to fall. First, it was about access to abortion, then abortion care, which is health care. Then they went after birth control and contraceptives. Then they went after IVF. Then they went after mifepristone, abortion medication. So we know them, again, to make promises, not threats, and we have to do everything possible to ensure that they cannot make good on these efforts to ban our bodies, to ban our books, to ban words, diversity, equity, inclusion, abortion. And also, it is important to note that although most of this 900-plus page manifesto here, extreme manifesto, implicates federal agencies, it also implicates the Supreme Court, because in order for them to make this real, they will need to enlist as co-conspirators in this march towards extremism, towards fascism, towards authoritarianism. They will need to enlist the Supreme Court, as they have already done.